Hello. I got a video, y'all. They got a whole little video. How y'all doing today? Is everybody enjoying the conference? All right. So I'm going to try to wake y'all up a little bit. I'm loud. I'm country as hell. I'm from East Texas. I'm very informal with my chats, but I'm going to talk to you guys today about a little bit of something that I'm pretty sure most of you would find valuable in your business, which is building out an attraction-based business instead of prospecting and chasing. So how many of you guys are tired of chasing? How many of you would love to just wake up and have your people find you? You've got calls booked on your schedule. You're working with people that you enjoy. Well, that's what I've done. Is I've built out an entire business based on attraction. So there it is, attract, building a business that comes to you instead of one that you have got to chase the business. I'm going to give you guys some pillars, just some fundamentals, some things that I've done to build my business the way I have. So first, who am I? Some of you guys don't know who I am. Some of you obviously do and are in my group and on my team. So who does she think she is? My name is Chauncey Pham. I'm a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Don't really sell many houses anymore, so I'll tell you a little bit more about what I do right now. But my background is in sales and marketing. Started out in the merchant services industry. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been in that industry, but it's like boiler room. I was the only chick out of like 50 guys under the desk, closing deals, talking shit. It was mayhem. Made lots of money in that business. I loved it. It taught me how to sell. Left that business and got into marketing. Became an account executive for a marketing firm where I learned everything from the print side of marketing to digital marketing, and then I learned a lot about consumer behaviors and how people thought psychology-wise when it comes to marketing. So those are some really, really transferable skills that I was able to use and segue into real estate, in which I got into real estate 2016. 2018, opened my own brokerage. Did not realize that was the worst idea in the world was to open your own brokerage because the root word is broke, and I was broke as hell. So fast forward to 2019, I joined EXP Realty. So I think some of you guys in here are with EXP. Shut down my brokerage, joined EXP. Fast forward to today, have over 350 agents underneath me that coach, train, mentor, and we're doing amazing. Flip houses with my husband, and we here recently just signed a contract for a show on a national channel that is not HGTV. So you guys will see a lot more of me on that. But I want to tell you guys all of these fun things I've done, and I'm a coach with Hero Nation, which you guys have seen Wayne come up. Yes. Wayne, woo. But I've done all of this, guys, legit, attracting people. I don't chase. There is one thing that I knew and that I knew for sure when I got into real estate. I ain't never chased a man in my life. Half a damn sure I was not going to chase business. Okay? And for me, that was really important. Prospecting-based businesses, it works. It's amazing. I mean, most of my really good friends, that's how they run their business. I just knew that wasn't sustainable for me, and it wasn't something that I was interested in. Coming from a business where I was forced to chase on a daily basis, I wanted to chill a little bit. And so I really included some fundamentals that I'm going to share with you guys today on how you can kind of start changing your business around to being more attraction-based. So some things we're going to discuss today, just a couple of key takeaways. Number one, you already have the goods. So we'll chat a little bit more about how you already have the goods to attract the right people into your business and get them to come to you instead of you chasing them down. I want to talk to you guys also about how you're presenting the opportunities that you have. Because I know everyone in here is not in real estate. Some of you are in other industries. Nonetheless, understanding how you're presenting those opportunities and the perspective that you're coming from is going to be super important. So understanding who you are in someone's story, and then including them in your picture. So them, the consumer, who it is that you're selling to. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then my favorite is vulnerability being your superpower. So I'm a coach with Hero Nation again. Wayne, give me a whoop. Shit, I feel like Justin needs to invest. Next time we need some fire, like Kevin Hart on Kevin Hart's special. Don't do this, y'all. Give me some fire. But as a coach, the hardest part of my job, guys, and what I've kind of drilled down and figured out, that people are paying me to teach them and celebrate shit about them that they already got. But literally, I get paid a very nice amount for people to talk to me and discover things about themselves is already great. So this picture beside it that says, I want $10. I'll tell you guys a quick little story here. I have a little boy. His name is Enzo. He's 7. And whenever my kids lose a tooth, so I have a daughter who's a little bit older, but whenever they lose a tooth, I make them write a note on the little baggie that they put their tooth in to the tooth fairy that's supposed to be inspirational. That's supposed to enlighten her day. My daughter's notes were always like, I hope you have a great night, and please, leave me a nice present. My son says, I want $10. Legit, this was his. You see his little tooth there in the corner, and it says, I want $10. So man of very few words. Nonetheless, this was the very first tooth that he lost. So I took his little baggie. He lost his tooth midday. I go on about my day. I never carry cash. My husband never carries cash. And he takes his little baggie. He puts it under his pillow. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, y'all, I don't know what it was. It was that tooth fairy, spidey senses. I shot up in bed and was like, holy hell, I do not have $10. I do not have any cash for the tooth fairy. What am I about to do? So I get up. I get dressed. I go into his bedroom, walking slow. I pull the bag from underneath his pillow, and I'm ready to go to CVS or go somewhere and buy something, try to get $10 cash back so I can flip it back and he can have his tooth fairy money. But as I'm walking out of his room, something caught my eye on his nightstand. His piggy bank. His piggy bank. I was like, wait a minute. I know he got $10 on his piggy bank. So I got the piggy bank, took the baggie, broke in the piggy bank, took the $10 out, put it in that bag, stuck it right under his pillow, and I took my ass back to bed. Next morning, though, I was awakened by the most jovial squeal you will ever hear. He came in my room hot. I got $10. Y'all, he was so happy. He was excited. She brought it. She brought me this $10. And what I learned from that lesson that I carried on and that I talked to a lot of my coaching clients about is y'all are out here breaking the bank every day. You're joining conferences, paying for coaching, watching YouTube videos all night. You're constantly buying books, shiny new objects, tools, resources, downloading shit. You don't do anything with it. Do you? Half of y'all got notebooks right now. They're going to be dusty next week. You're not going to do anything with it. Because you already have the goods in your piggy bank. You already have what you need, and you're out looking outside of your house. Like I had put on clothes. I was ready to trek out into the world at 2 o'clock in the morning to go and get something that I already had sitting on the nightstand right beside me. Okay? I need for you guys to understand that in attraction-based marketing, it is based on what is within you. You cannot go and find it anywhere else. You already have the goods. You just need to figure out what it is and tap into it and use it to attract your tribe. Okay? So that's the first step. And I want to give you guys some homework. Like, write that down in your notebook. Make that something that you actually do. Is make a list of things about yourself, whether it's related to your industry or not, that you feel like you're good at. I'm damn good at this. It may be connecting with people. It may be you have the power of having conversations with people, and by the end of the conversation, they told you all their business. You're like, I don't know how this happens. But every time I talk to someone, this happens. And think about what those skills are, jot that down, and then I want you to take it a step further and figure out how you can leverage what's already in you moving forward in your business. Okay? There we go. All right, so the next thing is who you are in someone's story. So this is going to be another really, really important thing in terms of how you are presenting your opportunity to the consumer. So I would assume most of you guys are here, business conference, you sell something. And we are taught typically in sales to go in and always share what the unique value proposition is of our product or of our service and why we're the best and why they should buy from us. But I think it's bullshit. It's true to a point, but what I found in the market today and from people is game recognizes game. People are tired of being sold. They just are. And in a lot of what we are taught to do in the way that we are presenting our products and services, we are talking to people about what we think they need to know and what we like about the product instead of what they actually need. So I did a talk at a Tony Robbins event back in August of last year, and it was at the Build conference. And I hype myself up at these conferences and come up with these ideas from real life things. And so at that time, I was in a sappy mood right before I did that speech. And so when I get in those sappy moods, I tend to go and find some television show that makes me sad, and I just sit in my room and cry for a couple of days. Ladies, I'm pretty sure you do that as well. So Grey's Anatomy it was. Okay? So, I don't know, you guys may remember this Grey's Anatomy episode, but it was the two ambulances driving into the hospital. One of the ambulances was being driven by an EMT that had a seizure. And when she had a seizure, she hit the other ambulance and it flipped over. And in that ambulance were two guys, two EMTs, and the driver was actually impaled by a pole or something that had come through, and it had gone through his abdomen. And they're hanging upside down, and it was very apparent that once they pulled it out, he would bleed out and die. Okay? So I'm crying, of course. Oh my God, it's so bad. So the show is doing what it's supposed to do. But when it hit me, and what I could use for this talk, was Meredith, the main character of Grey's Anatomy, was tasked with going into the hospital and finding his wife. She was a nurse inside the hospital. So go find her, tell her what's happening, so she'd come outside and say her goodbyes. So she goes in, she gets the wife, the scene is unfolding, the wife is outside, she's kneeling beside the ambulance, she's crying, everyone's crying, I'm crying, people on the show are crying. But then Meredith whispers something under her breath to the doctor standing next to her in this scene, and she says, "That's who I am in her story." She says, "What? What'd you say?" That's who I am in her story. She said, "From now on, this woman that works in the same hospital I've never spoken to before, never said a word to her. But from now on, when she sees my face, and she hears my voice, and she sees anything that has to do with me, this is what she's going to remember. That I delivered the worst news of her life to her in this very moment. And forever, that's who I'm going to be in her story." So now I'm really crying. Like, who am I in everyone's story? But legitimately, guys, I realized in that moment that when I talk to people about whatever opportunity it is, whether I'm talking to a seller that has a distressed property and they're behind on their mortgage or behind on their taxes or they're in a hoarder situation, they're in dire straits, they need to sell this house and they don't know where to go. Or whether I'm talking to an agent that's at their wit's end with their brokerage, they're possibly looking to switch, or that business owner that, is way behind on their bills and they need coaching. I come from a perspective of who I am in their story in that very moment, in that very minute. Because that's what I want them to remember about me moving forward. And some of you guys have probably found me on YouTube and you've watched some of the videos that I have. And that's what I always try to do, is make an impact with the talks that I have and become something bigger in your story. And so coming over to EXP and shutting down my brokerage, guys, that was real personal. My brokerage was my baby. I had this dream of opening a little brokerage. It was going to be like Starbucks. We're going to have cool little agents that had beards with glitter in it. And we were going to be, the cool agents, right? And everyone kept talking to me about EXP. So I remember the first person talked to me about it. I remember the second person that talked to me about it. I remember the third person that talked to me about it. Like every single last one of them pitched me on a whole bunch of stuff I didn't know what it meant. Come on, we got stock. We got rev share. We got all these cool things. I didn't care about any of that. But I remember the person that talked to me about it, and the reason that I actually moved my brokerage and changed the entire way that I was doing my business. He's sitting in the back, Nick Good. Because Nick Good talked to me about what I needed in my business and where I wanted to go. And guys, you're going to have to start coming from that perspective when you're talking to the consumer about your products or services. Stop pitching them on things that they don't really care about. Your value proposition is valuable to you, but you've got to understand what's going on in their story, become something in that in order for you to get them. So my saying is, in order for you to get them, actually get them. Okay, so stop just trying to get them and actually try to get them. The next little pillar that I use in kind of building out attraction-based marketing, I was listening to a chat, I don't know how long ago, and this guy said, if I took a picture of this crowd right now, and I handed you the picture, who would be the first person that you look for in the picture? And if you didn't see yourself in the picture, or you realize I didn't catch you in the picture, would you be interested in that picture anymore? You wouldn't be interested anymore. The reason you guys aren't attracting business is because your consumer can't see themselves in your picture. You're not including them in your picture. Y'all out here taking pictures in front of your Lambos. You're out here showing all your little glittery clothes signs. They're at home struggling. They don't care about that. How do they fit in your picture? What can you bring to their story? What value can you bring to their life? And until you guys can add your consumer to your picture, they ain't going to be in it. So that is another pillar that I always use when I'm posting on social media, when I'm building out my content. I try to make sure that the consumer is always in my picture. And the last thing is probably the most powerful thing. Is, guys, I understood from the very, very beginning that one thing that nobody could take away from me is my story. And being vulnerable about what is going on in my life is my superpower. So what you see here is a picture from a post that I made on Facebook on March 8th of this year. And I know it was March 8th because that's the 6-year anniversary of me being sober. And I posted this picture of how I looked on March 8th, 6 years ago, to now. Okay? I was getting pissy drunk. I just like to have fun, y'all. I was just the fun girl, right? Like, it wasn't some weird trauma that I had and some story as to why I wanted to drink. But I shared my story, and I want you guys to know what happened when I shared that story. I had people coming out of the wazoo. My old doctor sent me a note and said she struggled with sobriety and with alcohol, and if she knew anyone that needed anything in real estate, she'd be sending them to me. I had realtors reaching out to me from all different brokerages telling me their stories and how they struggled with sobriety and alcohol. And so another bit, if you guys are looking to attract people, is stop running from what you're ashamed of. I don't care what it is. Somebody sitting out in this audience right now is pretending like they got money and you're about to go bankrupt. Somebody out in this audience is struggling with their weight. Somebody out in this audience hates their spouse, ready to get divorced, or they're being abused. There are so many things that we hide about ourselves, and guys, understanding that when you share those things, you take the power away from other people and there's nothing else to be scared of. Don't you say nothing about me, I won't say about myself. There is so much power in vulnerability. And that's your second piece of homework. Write that down in your little conference notebook. Is that when you go home, write down some things that you don't want anybody to know about you. What you struggling with? What's some thoughts you have and you don't really want to share with people? What do you hate about yourself? Guys, I've been having my coaching clients go through this exercise. One of them in particular is a realtor. She's been going through a nasty divorce. She's been struggling with it. She put up her first YouTube video and decided to focus on the divorce process, what it looks like. And in that video, she's just not talking about just divorces, but she's talking about it from a personal perspective, as well as, the feeling side of it, what she's been going through. Now, she's picked up 3 clients in the last month that were women that reached out to her, that watched her videos, and said, man, this is exactly how I feel. If you guys want to start attracting people, then you share your vulnerabilities. Okay? So those are 4 pillars. I don't have any crazy revolutionary stuff here for you. Other than that, you want to run an attraction-based business, number 1, you got to figure out exactly what it is that you got in that piggy bank, that $10 that's already sitting beside the bed that you just need to pull out and figure out how you can leverage that in your business. You need to figure out exactly who you are in someone's story as you are presenting yourself and presenting your opportunity to the consumer. You need to make sure that consumer is always in your picture. So as you are sharing who you are and what you do, they see themselves in that message as well. And your superpower is your vulnerability. So stop hiding that shit. Take it, build some steps out of it, make a ladder out of it, climb over the mountain. Stop hiding it. So, Chauncey Pham, if you guys want to reach out to me, that is literally my phone number. Feel free to reach out, chaunceypham.com, and I'd love to chat more if you guys want any help with learning about attraction-based marketing.